Local news about local people. This is Newslink, Indiana.
Hello, I'm Alyssa Ivinson. Thanks for joining us at newslinkindiana.com. One man is in critical condition after an explosion Tuesday morning at the former Thomson plant in Marion. Newslink Indiana's Amanda Decker reports how fire broke out in what many thought was an empty building.
Around 8:15 Tuesday morning, a man cutting electrical lines accidentally cut a live wire, causing several fires to break out across the side of the factory where chemicals are kept. One factory worker was standing about 100 feet away from the area where the fire broke out.
The light started flickering and it started smelling like a burnt insulation from the wiring, and so we gathered our crew up and headed for the door.
The worker says he heard hideous screams and moans coming from the worker who cut the wire.
I've worked in this industry long enough, I know that was someone got hurt.
Some fires sparked up to 300 feet away from the area where the wire was cut.
Instantly, a building, a huge room just instantly filled up with that thick black smoke.
The crew members working in the plant were cleaning it up so it could be marketed and sold.
The workers are actually work for another company. I believe that the owner of the company has subcontracted that work out to other companies.
Airspace above the factory was closed off, and residents within 3 blocks of the building had to leave because of the potential threat of burning chemicals. In Marion, Amanda Decker, Newslink, Indiana.
A firefighter and 2 other workers were treated for burns at Marion General Hospital. A 4th worker's injuries were treated at the scene. Emergency workers were prepared for people leaving the area after the Thomson plant explosion. The Red Cross was at the scene with water and food for firefighters and evacuees. The Marion Salvation Army opened its doors, offering food, water, and air conditioning. Mary Smith of the Salvation Army says anyone is welcome.
It seemed that there was no place out there for the evacuees to go, so we decided that all evacuees could come here.
Not many people were displaced because they were at work or school when the fire happened. Newcastle water and sewer users are bracing for a possible rate increase. Newslink Indiana's Scott Atkins tells us how one restaurant is conserving for a cause.
There you go. Can you get you anything else right now?
People are talking at Rhonda's Country Cooking, talking about water fees soaring into the double digits.
That's too much of an increase.
An increase of 35% could flood the city, flooding small business owners like Rhonda Rector.
You know, I'm on my own here, so as far as affecting Newcastle, I see it really affecting businesses in Newcastle.
With more than 300 gallons of water used daily here at Rhonda's Kitchen, she's beginning to wash single dishes by hand, since conventional dishwashers are draining her pocketbooks.
I couldn't probably tell you how many loads of dishes that we do every day. You know, it's just constantly one after the other, after the other, after the other.
It's a double whammy. Rhonda fears diners may not have the extra bucks to fork over, and she may have to up her own prices.
They won't have the extra $15, $20 to come out and eat lunch or supper.
Concern for her restaurant and concern for the city. In Newcastle, Scott Atkins, Newslink, Indiana.
The Newcastle City Council will debate water and sewer rates at its next meeting on October 17th. And now Aaron Walker joins us with a look at our forecast. And Aaron, it's October, but it's still hot.
And you know this is going to continue into the overnight hours and through the day tomorrow, but there are going to be some changes on our way. Taking a look at tonight, it's going to be mostly clear and pretty pleasant outside with a low of about 60 degrees. Winds out of the southeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Across much of Indiana, it's going to be 60 in Muncie, 61 in Indianapolis, and 62 in Lafayette. You can see the cold front out to our west. It's going to be around Minnesota, Iowa early on Wednesday morning, really keeping the rain back, not moving very quickly because it only gets into about the middle of Illinois by the end of Wednesday evening. So it's not really going to affect us too much during the day tomorrow. 86 for your high in Muncie, 87 in Indianapolis, and 86 as well in Lafayette. Tomorrow morning should start out pretty warm, 65 degrees, mostly sunny, and clouds will increase throughout the day as that front does start to draw some closer to us. Throughout much of the afternoon, it will remain sunny and unseasonably warm again, 86 for our high, with winds again out of the south at 5 to 10. Those changes that we're talking about, you can see on Thursday, however, at 8 a.m. on Thursday, 66 degrees, 60 by 3 p.m. Now, by 3 p.m. during the day, you normally see your high temperature. That should probably come on Thursday about 10 or 11 o'clock, only at 70 degrees. And by 10 o'clock in the evening, 45 degrees. And you can see some rain and scattered thunder showers throughout the day. Your 5-day forecast showing the cooler temperatures really on Thursday, and then by Friday, 58 degrees with 36 degrees for a low. Saturday, 60, Sunday, 65. So it starts to rebound pretty nicely with mostly clear skies, but the lows overnight will remain quite cool, so fall really has arrived.
It's on its way, and it looks like it's going to be a pretty good weekend.
It's going to be beautiful this weekend.
Very good. Thanks, Aaron. The Muncie Mission has been serving the community for 75 years, and it's ready to celebrate. Newslink Indiana's Colleen Borman shows us one face able to tell his story thanks to the mission.
Good afternoon, Muncie Mission. Can I help you?
Jim Mueller doesn't mind answering the phone all day long. It keeps him busy and, more importantly, out of trouble.
I realized I needed to turn things around.
Trouble had been following Mueller around for years, since he is a recovering alcoholic.
I lost everything that I ever had, including the relationships I had with my family and friends.
After sitting through extensive counseling and rehab centers, nothing was working. But it wasn't until he took a seat here when things began looking clear.
Mueller believes God is the key to his recovery.
I can't do it by myself. He's doing it. I'm doing it with him.
But his road to recovery began at the Muncie Mission.
For us is making it personal, getting it from their head, and as somebody get it 14 inches lower into their heart, and that's when it begins to take effect upon them.
A mission open to anyone who is struggling and needs a helping hand like Mueller did 9 months ago.
This has been great for me.
And he wants to leave a message for those in trouble.
Do not be conformed any longer to the patterns of this world.
A pattern he hopes to never see again. In Muncie, Colleen Borman, Newslink, Indiana.
You can also hear Mueller's story at the Muncie Mission banquet Tuesday night at the Horizon Convention Center. Former Indiana Senator Dan Coates will be the keynote speaker. The simple act of going out to lunch or dinner on Wednesday will help hurricane victims. More than 1,300 restaurants across the nation are participating.